Welcome back to the Cloud Certification Catalyst series. This is a new playlist for the Certified Jenkins Engineer 2020 exam. Okay, so as you know, Jenkins is a very popular open source automation and DevOps tool, and CloudBees is basically a company which is kind of like behind Jenkins as such. Okay, and so they offer a few certifications on Jenkins, and I recently passed the Certified Jenkins Engineer 2020 exam. So I am creating a playlist for this exam in a fashion which is similar to the Terraform Certified Associate playlist. Some of you might have seen it. That is one of the most popular playlists for the Terraform HashiCorp Certified Terraform Associate examination. Okay. So coming to this exam, so see, this is a Certified Jenkins Engineer 2020 exam. Okay, so this is for the latest one. Very brief about me. I am currently working in the IT industry. I have around 8 years of experience with around 4 years in cloud. And I'm working in Accenture, and I have experience in DevOps and infrastructure as code, AWS, Azure, and a little bit on Google Cloud. These are few of the certifications I hold, about 15 to 16 in total. One of them, the latest edition, is the Certified Jenkins Engineer. Okay, now let us come to some facts about this exam. So first, let us go to this. When you do a Google search on CloudBees Jenkins certification, you will see this. Okay, now as you will see, there are two certifications which are provided by CloudBees. One is this Certified Jenkins Engineer. This is the one we are talking about. Okay, this is on the open source Jenkins, and this is the Certified CloudBees Jenkins Engineer. This is for the ones who have experience with Jenkins, but they're also using the CloudBees Jenkins version. So what is the CloudBees Jenkins version? It is an open source of Jenkins, and then it is made more enterprise ready by this company called CloudBees, which was started by the person who founded Jenkins, or basically who created Jenkins. Okay. Now see, this is CJE, this is CCJE, so don't get confused. For people who are not using CloudBees that much, but they want to learn Jenkins, or they are using Jenkins, they are mostly using the open source Jenkins, which is freely available on the market. Now for those use cases, you should only give CJE. You don't need to worry about CCJE. So what is the difference? CCJE obviously includes CJE, meaning on the open source Jenkins, but it also includes questions on your usage of this CloudBees core component of Jenkins. Okay, so for example, in my use case, I have never used CloudBees Jenkins. Okay, I have heard about the company, I have used the videos and stuff. They have very nice playlists and blogs on Jenkins, because most of their developers are the guys who are even contributing to the open source Jenkins. But normally you should give CJE 2020. It's very important you give CJE. So you select the CJE exam when you opt for the exam in the list of exams. I, for example, first selected CCJE by mistake, then I had to cancel this and again start this. Okay, so if you see the difference, you will see that CJE contains Jenkins fundamentals, Jenkins pipeline, Jenkins administration, and so on, but CCJE also includes CloudBees core fundamentals. This is the difference. Very good. Now where can this test be taken and how? So you have to click on this register now. Okay, and you will be directed to the web assessor site. So this is the Crypterian online site, for example. So as you can see, these are the options which are available. Okay, now you see there are exams with 150 USD and there are exams with 99 USD. Now this 99 USD are the ones which have been started by Jenkins or CloudBees in a new fashion. Earlier there were only these two. Okay, so this is good because this is $50 cheaper, and also you can take from home. Because of COVID, it's very difficult to go to a test center and take the exam. But one of the bad things is that this is unproctored. So I personally like proctored exams because it's very difficult to cheat or anything like that on this exam. But this is unproctored. What does this mean? This means that when you buy this exam, you don't have to select a date as such, because no proctor has to be available for you. You can launch the exam just after buying it. Okay, but be sure that you are ready, because once you take the exam, you cannot take it again. So there is no free retake because it's unproctored or such. So for example, I took not this one, this is Certified CloudBees Jenkins CCJE. So I selected this one, which is CJE at home. Okay, and you can see unproctored because nobody is going to check you. Nobody is going to check whether you have a passport or you have valid ID card or anything. Basically you can have anybody else take the exam for you also, which is obviously not recommended and it doesn't help you, man, at the end of the day. But anyways, as you can see, due to coronavirus, Cryptarian testing centers have been decided to close temporarily. As such, CloudBees University have made these exams available. Now they are open till June 30th. I don't know whether they will be extended. So see, the last date to take these online exams, one registered, is currently July 31st, but maybe they will extend it if the coronavirus situation doesn't improve. Now okay, the cost of the exam is 99 USD, but you add some tax, so it will come around, for me it came, so tax is your local tax, right? So I cannot tell you how much tax it will take, but it came around something like 18 USD for my case, which if you convert to INR will cost you something around 9,000 INR, which is good because this is cheaper by around 3,000 or 4,000 than this one, which is the one you take in the test center. Now it is unproctored, meaning you don't need anything as such. You don't need your ID cards or anything, but obviously what you need is you need a good internet connection, because once you start the exam you have to finish the exam and it's a one shot exam. Next, there is no free retake as such. You cannot pause the exam and again come back or nothing like that. You have to take the exam. Okay, now this is regarding taking the exam. You just use any your valid credit card. I don't have any coupon. Again, I don't have any coupon. I paid this entire amount. Okay, so I paid it off my own wallet, so this is not a company reimburse for now. So I have paid it off my own salary, so to speak. Now when I come to this, then I need to come to what is the questions and everything. So for example, then you go to this. So how you come here? This is CloudBees University. So this is a community edition where basically what you can get, you have a lot of free material regarding your Jenkins, both the CJE and CCJE. So first of all, what I would like to suggest is that you register for this site, CloudBees University. Do a Google search and Cloudbit University will get here. Give an email ID. It is completely free. All of these videos are completely free. Now this one, this certification guide and information, this is the one that you need to first check out in very detail. I did this. This is a really helpful one because this gives you a lot of idea on the actual exam. Okay, so this is not the material. So if you see, it is giving what is the certification, what is new content, preparing, registering, and all of this information. So please go through in detail. I will not go through the entire thing. Okay, so as you can see, certified Jenkins engineer is for proficiency with Jenkins mostly, and this is for proficiency with CloudBees code. Okay, very good. What's new in 2020? You can see one of them is you can receive partial credit if you choose some, but not all of the correct responses for questions. So partial credit is also available. Okay, very good. This is much similar to 2019 exam also. Obviously they don't change a lot. Now see, what this is important, 60 MCQs, okay, and 90 minutes. Okay, so normally you should not ideally have a time constraint as such, but I had, because I found the exam, the CJE exam, extremely difficult. Okay, it had some questions. So from for my case, out of the 60 questions, 25 were straightforward. Okay, for the rest, 25 to 30 questions, okay, or 35, it was quite difficult from my perspective. Okay, it might be because I don't use Jenkins day in and day out. I don't use Groovy. I don't use the declarative syntax that much. I have used Jenkins for a few particular use cases. I know the basics of Jenkins in and out, but I much more use Azure DevOps than Jenkins. But this is a tough exam from my perspective. It was not very simple. Okay, anyways, so as you can see, the questions will reflect the capabilities of the out-of-box standard installation of the product, including the suggested plugins. Okay, so it is not going to cover anything on the CloudBees code component part. Now if you had given CCJE, you will see the time is, the number of questions has basically increased from 60 to 90. So the similar 60 multiple questions are there about Jenkins. Then you get 30 additional questions about CC CloudBees code. That is why I did not give this exam, because I don't know CloudBees code. I still know a little bit about Jenkins. So I found that the certified Jenkins engineer CJE is much more good for me. Now see the exam topics. Okay, so you don't consider this, you consider this for. So Jenkins fundamentals, Jenkins administration, Jenkins build technology, pipeline, and freestyle. This is very important. You have to just pass to pass, you just score 66%. So 2/3 of your exam, if you can answer say 40-45 questions, you are passing. Each question is worth 1 point. Okay, so equally distributed. So the correct answer to some questions have multiple responses. This is very important. It's not always one question correct, but it will tell you how many are the correct answers. It's not like it's trying to trick you that there are 2 correct answers or 3, nothing. You are always told how many responses are required for questions that require multiple responses. Very important. And you are given partial credit for each response you get correct. For example, if a question requires 3 correct responses, and it will tell in the question that you need 3 correct responses, you choose 2 of the 3 responses, will receive a 2/3 of the points for that question. Okay, very good. Now approximate number of questions. So if I concentrate on CJE, if I can just do both of this, okay, say I'm not very good in pipelines, then also I get something around 50% of the questions there. But you have to know pipeline. Okay, you have to know pipeline and you have to know freestyle. Okay, and that is the only reason in which you can pass the exam. So if you do not know pipeline, then you are not going to pass the exam, as simple as that. There are quite a few questions on Jenkins pipeline. Very good. So total number of questions, as you can see, 60 questions, you get 90 minutes. But frankly speaking, I found that even 90 minutes was less from my perspective, because I quite frankly I found the questions quite tough. Now preparing for the exam, this will tell you a lot of things. You need additional 6 months. These are not hard requirements that you have to show a proof of 6 months, but see what you can do. Okay, and this I will tell you. Taking the fundamental classes is something you can documentation, play with Jenkins, and then register, buy now, and all of this basically, as you can see, all of the details are given here. Okay, now most of these details, don't worry, because these are mostly about the test center, but you can also take that at home now. Okay, so as you can see, these are the 150 USD ones, but you also have the 99 USD one. Very good. After the exam, if you pass, you get certificates and all, and if you fail, you don't, and all of those things. Okay, you just read this part in detail. Now coming to the certification part, so if you see the kind of things that we get, 1 second. So the certificate that you will get is this. So if you pass the exam in the next Monday, the coming week's Monday, after you pass the exam, you are going to get a certification PDF certificate like this. Okay, now this guy is the Kohusuke Kawaguchi. Is basically he is the creator of Jenkins project, and he is also the founder of CloudBees company as such. Okay, and also you get another this badge sort of things to add to your signature or something. Okay, so certified Jenkins engineer. So these are the 2 things you get. Now regarding preparation, okay, so what I did first, and then what things you can do. So these things we have covered: cost of the exam, more information, number of questions, passing percentage, online or proctored, do we get a certificate, how to register, what research should I follow. Now this is where I am. So I personally initially took the LineX Academy course on Jenkins. It's a good course. It's not a bad course. It's quite a good course. So if you go to LineX Academy certified Jenkins engineer, so this course. Okay, so I have a subscription for LineX Academy, so I could take this course. Now the thing about this course is that I found that if I just complete this course and if I go to the exam, I won't pass the exam, as simple as that. For my question set, that happened. So I had to study a lot of documentation apart from this, and this is something that many people, if you search the blogs, they are also suggesting. This course is good. This will give you a brief idea of all of the topics, but maybe just following this course, you are not going to pass, as simple as that. Okay, but what a good thing about this course is that this has a sample exam of about 65 questions. Okay, so some of those questions are good. So around 10 to 15 of those questions are good. The rest are quite easy. Okay, but the easy questions are also not bad, because 30% or out of those 60 questions in Jenkins exam, 30 questions will be quite simple also. Okay, so 30 questions, you don't need to worry about 30 questions if you know Jenkins, but for the next 30 questions, okay, which is needed for you to pass the exam, you have to be careful. You have to know a little bit about the documentation, otherwise you are going to, there's a chance that you are going to fail the exam. Okay, so this is something I did. Other than that, I also basically did the CloudBees University Jenkins courses. So as you can see, exam preparation is completely free. They are offering 3 Jenkins courses basically for free. So one is this CJE Jenkins fundamentals, then Jenkins pipeline fundamentals, and then Jenkins administration fundamentals. Okay, so these questions they are saying, these are the videos they are giving for this exam. So I went through all of them. They are pretty easy. Once you do the LineX Academy first, you don't have to worry about this thing in detail. You just do it quite quickly. Okay, now another thing I want to show, which I think is needed, is that there's special focus on pipelines. Okay, so you have to do this 2 courses also. So Jenkins pipeline fundamentals is already mentioned here, but this Jenkins pipeline intermediate. Okay, so I did not finish this one. Okay, but I had started this one. Okay, so it's not complete. And another thing, that if you do if you complete this, then you are going to get a certificate also. Okay, I'm not saying that it's a very valued certificate, but at least you get a certificate that you have finished this CloudBees University training, and all of this are free. So again, I will suggest that do all of those 3 courses for CJE, which they are mentioning anyhow, but along with that, do this Jenkins pipeline intermediate course. Okay, because pipeline is a very important part of that. Now along with that, what I did, okay, so I downloaded the Jenkins user book. So let me show you that. User handbook. Yes, as you can see, it is a 206 page book. Okay, so I have mostly read the entirety of it. Okay, it's a very good book. Basically, I downloaded it because I had some problems with my internet connections. Normally, if you go here, okay, this part, yes. So basically, the output of this part, okay, this user documentation or user handbook, this is basically in the web, and this is basically the PDF version mostly. So I read mostly everything related to this part. So installing Jenkins, for example, I read from here. Then using Jenkins for all of these credentials, fingerprints, pipelines, blue oceans, managing Jenkins, securing Jenkins, scaling Jenkins. So this entire documentation I have gone through more than once. So this helped me basically pass the exam. And also I had set up one Jenkins installation. As you can see, this is my own personal Jenkins installation. So it's very easy to do. I use a Bitnami Jenkins installation for from AWS. Okay, so I had an AWS account. I used a T2 micro instance, so it will not cost you anything. So these are few jobs I have done and all of those things. So you need something. Okay, otherwise if you just follow the LineX Academy, it will not help you. I personally think you need to follow the documentation also. Just doing the LineX Academy or the CloudBees University might not help you pass the exam. In some cases it might, in some cases it might not. To be sure, go through the documentation also. Give a lot of focus on administration perspective of Jenkins and also Jenkins pipelines. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so in my question set, I am going to include questions from all of the aspects in the exam. Okay, so that's okay. So basically this is what it is. So what resource should I follow? As I said, these are the few resources you can follow. Sample test paper. So LineX Academy has one. Okay, it's I won't say it's a tough exam. Maybe 10 to 15 questions are good. The rest others are quite mediocre. Udemy has one also, not up to the par. So from my perspective, none of them compare to the difficulty level of the exam. I found the exam quite difficult, frankly. Okay, and I always thought that I won't pass the exam also, to be truthful, but I passed with around 80%. Should I take Udemy courses? Completely up to you. I did not take an Udemy course for Jenkins because I have been working with DevOps for 2 years now, 2 or 3 years. I know the basics of DevOps mostly, but yeah, I think you should take at least, I don't know whether you should need to buy another Udemy course for this, but at least take the free courses which they are providing. CloudBees University is providing completely free. Do them, they are good courses. Okay, now coming to my practice set of questions, as you might have observed, so I am going to publish a set of questions. So this is my set of questions. So as you can see, I've already written about 21 questions. I am going to publish one video per question. in a manner which is, for example, similar to my Terraform certification. No, my questions might not be the exact similar questions, because obviously I cannot publish exact questions. Also, I don't remember them. Okay, but I remember the idea. My questions will try to be from every single aspect of the exam. Okay, so that's important. What are the future plans with my practice question series? So over the next 1 to 2 months, I want to take this to a number like 70 or 80 or 100 maybe. So I've already done 21. I need some more time. So this should be good. Now something else that I forgot to mention about Jenkins is the study guide. Is this one or this one? 1 second. So I normally try to follow a study guide, not this one. Okay, so this is a study guide that I got from somewhere, I think the internet, Cloudbit University. So this is for 2018. I think I had one for 2020 also. Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of sections here. I followed this study guide also to understand each of the parts. For example, multi-branch pipeline, shared Groovy libraries, some terminology is mentioned here. So these are good document, and you are going to get a lot of such documents. For example, distributed version control, Jenkins pipelines, what is a CD pipeline, what is smoke testing, and my question set is also going to cover most of them. Okay, most of them. So 90% of this should be covered by my question set, and then we are going to go over this maybe as a refresher session, okay, after everything is completed. And if you do a Google search, you are going to get a lot of such info. For example, I got a few very good study notes, okay, when I googled. So do all of those things, and I'm quite sure that it should be okay. So basically this is a tough exam from my perspective, but it is not like that it is undoable or anything. Okay, if you have been using Jenkins every day in your life, then day to day, then it should be quite easy. For me, I did not use Jenkins every day, but I use Azure DevOps every day, so I know the DevOps concepts, but not specific things related to Jenkins. But yes, I have given a lot of certification exams, and I found this one tough. Okay, this is not a very simple certification exam from my perspective. And Jenkins also is on the face of it, on the surface, it's a very simple tool to use. You can write a very easy to do freestyle jobs, but when you go deeper into Groovy scripts and shared libraries and multi-branch pipelines and orphaned organization jobs and stuff like that, it gets quite complicated. Anyways, so stay tuned for more videos on this topic, and please share your feedbacks in the comment section. Thank you.